Welcome back, guys. So, one of the very important interview questions always you will get in the interview is how do you remove the duplicate object data, right, from the hash set? Because what happens when you have a hash set, when you have a data of type any wrapper class or a string class, duplicacy will be taken care. So, let's say you have data like this where you have data is equal to integer, and when you add duplicate data, duplicacy is taken care, right? You don't have to bother for that. So if you go and dot add, let's say 10, and if you add 10 again, then this is taken care. This internally it will be taken care, you will get output as a 10. But the problem what happens is, assume that you have a custom object. Okay, just focus till here. You have a custom object, and yes, I can create a default class in the same file, same Java file, which is allowed. I cannot create two public class, but I can create the default class in the same Java file, because I'm going to use this bin class only to hold the data in this class itself. So I can write here just for my convenience. So assume that you have a bin class, which is nothing but the object class which will hold the data. You have item and price, right? And then you have one parameterized constructor through which you are initializing the item and price, right? So what happens is, if I go and if I insert like this, so you can see that I'm creating the object of hash set which will take price as an argument, and I am inserting the object of the price. Okay, so in beginning what I will do, one thing is, I will not override hash code and equals method. Okay, so if you look at here, what happens is you are inserting this data in the hash set, right? And let me print this one also so that you can understand what happens when you have the primitive type and when we have the custom object type. So this guy has a custom object type. This price has a constructor of item and price. So we have inserted 3 record, and then we are running a for each loop. So this will just print the record from this hash set one by one, right? Then we are inserting one more mango. So see, mango was already there here, item, and the price was 20. Though we are creating one more object, but inside the object data is common. So as a programmer, you should not allow this, right? You should not allow to insert same object. Okay, you should not allow to insert the two different object with same data. As a programmer, you should take care of it. Okay, so you cannot go and insert again mango and price is equal to 20. No, this should not do that, though it is a different object, because you are using that new operator, and here also new operator. So why hash set will allow you to enter? Because hash code will be different. The hash code will be different for both the object. So this price object and this price object, hash code will be different. So if you will go and run this program, what you can see that there is a data duplicacy. So this is the original one where I said you only have integer data, you have added 10 10 10 10. So you can see that the outcome is only 10, duplicacy is taken care. But this is the original item mango price this, and then you have inserted, what happens is you have inserted the mango again, and we have added to the same hash set. We have created the object, we are adding to the hash set, and we are running a for each loop. Now the problem what happens is, you can see that you have to do mango with a price is equal to 20. Why this got added? Because we are adding the object, we are adding the custom object, and if you are using a custom object and if you are creating the object of custom object, this hash set will not take care. Okay, it will not take care. Then in these situations, what you have to do, people will ask you in the interview, like how you can handle the object data duplicacy. People, they will ask you in the interview. You have to tell that you can handle this by overriding hash code, by overriding the hash code and equals method. Okay, you know that, and I have covered this in the very details when I was talking about this hashing concept. I have covered each and every point, like how you can avoid duplicacy, what happens when you override only hash code, what happens when you override only equals method, but again I'm giving you some idea. Okay, I should not have covered here, but I'm giving you some idea. So what you have to do, you have to override both. You have to override hash code and you have to override the equals method. Okay, and one more thing, you know that this both the classes comes from the object class, right? In general your hash set internally overrides this hash code. Okay, internally your hash set overrides hash code. Okay, so how it overrides hash code, it will not override in the same class, but yes, if you will go in the add method, if you go to your hash set add method, and if you go to map.put, which is nothing but hash map.class, and if you go to the hash map, here you can see that hash code is overridden here. This hash code is overridden here, but the problem is this hash code will take care when you have a data of type primitive, and in fact you have equals method also overridden here. Okay, equals method is also overridden here in the hash map class, and you know that hash set internally uses hash map. So you have this method overridden. That is the reason your integer primitive data type, I mean wrapper class and string class is taken care. But the problem what happens with the custom object is, since you are creating the object again and again, when you are creating the object again and again, definitely the hash code will be different, because if you go to this put method, when you go to the put method, when you click on hash, it will look for the hash code. So every object will have a different hash code. When it is a different hash code, it will allow you to insert mango again. It will allow you to insert the object which has a data equal to mango, because hash code will be different. Okay, to explain you, to give you the idea of what I'm trying to say, that when you create the object, basically I'll do one thing. We are running this data here, right? At the same time, I will do is I will print dot hash code also, so that you can understand why data insertions was allowed. Now I am printing the hash code also, and now you can understand clearly. See, for the first item, hash code was this. When the mango came first time, this is the hash code, right? Now let me do one thing. This is commented. Yeah, this is commented. Now look at here. See, the data, when the data insertion happens, it will not look for only hash code, by the way, which I have already covered when I was talking about hashing concept. So when the first time mango came, this is your hash code, right? Then this data got inserted. Okay, then again what happened, again when the second time, okay, one second guys, one second. This is after insertions and put some proper things. Okay, yeah. So look at here, actually what happened. So this is before duplicacy. So when you inserted mango first time, this was the hash code, orange this was the hash code, and apple this was the hash code. Now this is 554 is your previous one, which is already there in the hash set. This is the previous one which is already there in the hash set. Now again mango came. Look at the hash code. Hash code is different this time. Okay, hash code is different this time. Orange is this and apple is this. So what happens if you compare the mango which you had earlier and the mango object which you have now? Look at the hash code. There is a difference. It is 9733. This was 554. So you might be thinking this is same, but the problem what happens is you are running a for each loop. So this was the first record. Again you have inserted the duplicate mango, and again you are running it. So when you do that, this is actually your first record, what it was earlier. Then again one more mango got added. Here the hash code is different. So when the hash code is different, this will be treated as a different object. When this will be treated as a different object, data entry will go, right? Data entry will go. That's what the concept it is. So if you try to remember this diagram, what happens? For every hash code, we will calculate the index, and then we'll check for the bucket here. Okay, whatever index matches, if the hash code is different, we go and we insert one more record. That's how this works, and this concept by now you should be well familiar of, because I have repeated so many times. That's how insertions happens, right? So yes, though the object data is same, but the hash code is different. So when the hash code is different, it will go and insert one node based on the index when you do modulus of 15. So when it got added, now the question is how you will avoid this duplicacy. How do you do that? There are two ways you have to do that. One is, there are not two ways, there is one way to do that. You need to override hash code and equals method. You need to make sure that, okay, you need to make sure that you are overriding the both hash code as well as the equals. Now you have to write some logic for that. Okay, what you have to do, when you are inserting the record, you need to write some custom logic to generate the hash code. So if you look at now, so to override the hash code, it's a pretty simple, straightforward. It comes from the object class. So what you guys can do is you can just write HSH control spacebar and click on this. So this is the default implementations of the hash code which comes from the object class. See, this method is getting overridden, but we need to write a custom logic. So now you look at my method which I have designed. It's a simple one I have designed. There is no much complex hash code this is. So I am writing that int hash code is equal to 0, because this I am writing that my own logic, and based on that generate the hash code. Now I am doing that hash code is equal to price into 20, some data, price into 20, because your object has an item and price, right? Your object, what you have an item and price. So I am doing that hash code is equal to price into 20, and then again I am writing that hash code is equal to hash code plus item. What is the item? Item is the string, and you know that a string is the object, a string is the class in Java. So when this is the string, I can write item dot hash code, because for every string there will be a hash code. Now you can understand what will happen in that case. Now see, when mango will come again, this string will match, right? This string will match mango again. When it will come next time, when you try to add mango again, this string will match. So, and item is, this is also 20, price is 20, item is equal to mango. So look at here, what will happen? Price is same, 20 into 20, what was earlier, 40, and then hash code 40 plus item is again mango dot hash code. So hash code will be the same, right? With this implementations, what will happen? Hash code will be same, because I am writing the logic, because you do price into 20. So you know that for mango, again you are inserting the price is equal to 20, right? When you are inserting the price is equal to 20, and then item is the same, which is nothing but mango, so the hash code will be also same, because it is a string is the object. So this, for the second time when you go and insert the mango, hash code is going to be same, right? So this is, we are overriding the hash code. Now again, the problem is, even though the hash code is same, okay, this hash set will not stop adding it. Only by looking hash code it will not. When the hash code is same, then it will go and compare, it will check for the equals method. It will check your equality of the object, whether your object is equal or not. Now I am overriding the equals also. Generally when you don't override the equals, okay, what will happen is, it will check for the reference, it will check for the two object reference, and definitely the two object reference will not be the same. Okay, that's what happens actually when you go to the put method. Let me show you quickly. When you go to the add method, internally it calls map.put. When you go to the put value, see, if you look at here, that's how it is. It will check for the hash, and it will check for the object. If both matches, or if there is a equals, if this is also matches, replace the old one with the new one. If anyone fails here, it will go and insert the new one. So when it will compare the object, now here you need to write a logic, right? because when you will compare a true object which is created by using new operator, it is not going to be same. It is not going to be same. Though the hash code is common because you are overriding the hash code. Okay, it is a common now. Somehow you made hash code is equal to common. Yes, it will come here. It will check whether the object is same. No, these conditions will fail. Okay, then it will come here for the equals method, because we are overriding the equals method also now. When we are overriding the equals method now, look at here now what will happen. Yeah, here. So it will come to the equals method, and here we are writing that first check. We are writing that if this object, when the equals method is getting called, if that particular object, if it is an instance of price which is of type this, you can write one check if you want to write. If you don't want to write, still it is fine, but usually standard practice you should do that. If instance of price, okay, then what you do, whatever object you have in the equals method, because this is coming from the object class, cast this object to your custom class price, so that you will get a price object. And by now you are familiar with casting, so cast that, you will get a price object. Then you write your own logic. If pp.items equals to, so whatever you have already inserted, one mango was already inserted, this was the mango already inserted, this is the item, this is the price. So on this object, what will happen for the particular this hash code, it will make a call. For this hash code, it will make a get call internally. It will check the items. Okay, item is equal to item, yes, item is equal to mango, both are mango. It will check the item and it will check for the price. So whatever is already there, mango inserted inside the bucket in the as a form of node, it will check for the price. Yes, price is also matching. So price is also matching. So what it will do? This will return true, because your item is matching, your price is matching. This will return true. When this will return true, okay, the moment this will return true, the method which I was talking about here, put value, it will go here. So what happened now? This is true, this hash is true, now this equals is true. When both are true, it will overwrite. It will overwrite, which means it will not insert, it will not make a new entry. Now you understood, right, how this will give you the benefit. If you have any doubt, please watch 2-3 times. You will try to put a debug point and see that. Okay, here I am painting now hash code. Okay, and I am going to run this program now. Now we should see that there should not be duplicate entry for the mango. See, look at here. So when first time this got added, okay, let me do one thing, let me do two things. One is print the hash code, is equal to plus object is equal to put plus this, so that you will understand for what object hash code is getting printed, otherwise you will get confused. See, look at here. For mango first time, hash code is this, object item is equal to mango price is equal to 20. So object is getting printed. For mango price is equal to 20, this was the hash code. For apple, this was the hash code, and for orange, this was the hash code. This is the first entry which happened, right? This is the first entry which happened. Now when you come back, okay, inserting duplicate object, so this so many times got printed because we are running so many loop here. What we can do here is we can comment these hash codes now. This is not required since we are running so many loop, so many hash codes are getting printed. Now just do one thing again, run again. Yeah, you can see that this is your hash code and this is the data. Now what happened? Inserting the duplicate. When you went ahead and when you are trying to insert the duplicate, see, look at here what happened. Your hash code became the same. For mango, it is the same hash code. Earlier it was not the case when we were not overriding it. And price 20. Now in equals object, invent to the equals. So after this, when this hash code was same, so what will happen? It will call for the equals. So it will went ahead and it calls for this equals. For this object, call the equals. So when it will call the equals, we can write this one also. We can just print this combinations here also, so that now it will be very clear for us. See, look at here. When we are inserting the duplicate, hash code became common for the mango, and then it called for the equals. Okay, we are printing here in equals and object is, right, the same thing. In equals and object is, so the in equals and object is item is equal to mango, price is equal to 20. That's what the object, right? Because your every object what you have, if you look at here, your every object have an item and price, so same thing is getting printed. Item mango, price 20, in equals is this, and this is returning the true. So when this return true, then what will happen? Your data insertions will not happen. So let me uncomment this and let me not print hash code now. Here also let me uncomment this and let me not print hash code now. Now you can understand what is the data before insertions and what is the data after insertions. So before insertions, this is your data. Okay, inserting duplicate, you are inserting the duplicate. Even after that, same data, you can see it here. Even after that, apple, orange, mango, even before apple, orange, mango. So that's how you avoid the duplicacy. Guys, you can do lot more practice on this. Okay, you can create your own combinations of hash codes and equals method, and you can do a lot of practice. Okay, so here you might be thinking, see here, this what happened is, this was the string, I called hash code method and I was able to generate that. But on this item, on the item we call the hash code method because it was the string. On the price, if I will call price dot hash code, will this work? This will not work. On the price I cannot call hash code. So guys, a small suggestion is, when you are trying to store a data in the hash set, make sure that you are using a wrapper class. Use this integer. When you use this integer, you can call hash set here also. You can call hash code here also. Okay, on this integer also you can call. Why I am showing this? Sometimes what happens, you will not get a string data, you will get only integer kind of data. Then also you need to override the hash code and equals. So somehow you need to write the logic. See, this equals, there will not be any issue. No matter how many fields you have, you can write this logic. This logic will not have the problem, because when you are using when you have a string, you can write a equals. When you have an integer, you can go for equal operator. There will not be any issue. Okay, you can go for equal. Now since I made this as a wrapper, when I made this as a wrapper, you don't need to write here equals now. You don't need to write here equals now. When it is a wrapper, the best part is you can use the method of the wrapper class. So here you can write the logic now. Okay, you don't have to. So this dot price, whatever you have. So what you can do, you can just go and dot equals. So you can just convert to this. When you have a wrapper class, okay, you can see that both are looking in the sync now. Okay, both are looking into the sync now. Right, same thing you can change it here. Yeah, so same thing what you can do here is, you can copy from here and you can add this. Okay, that's how it is, guys. Clear? So you may, if you use wrapper class, it's benefit for you. You can utilize the methods of wrapper class, which I have already covered. And here also you can generate hash code on any fields. See, even though if I run this program, duplicacy should be taken care. Okay, you can see that before mango orange apple, again mango orange apple, because when I will generate the hash code for the price also we are inserting 20 only next time. Now the problem is somebody will be curious, he will ask, what if I'll change the price? When I will change the price, definitely this will get inserted, because when you will change the price, see, one more mango got inserted, because this is a different flavor of mango. This is not same mango. Okay, your one mango you had of price 20, now you have a different mango of price 40, right? So when you change the price, yes, things will change, right? So you understood why you should use integer. If you use, you can override the hash code method. Okay, as well as you can utilize the method of the wrapper class. Here also you can write equals, right? When you don't write wrapper here, if you write int here, see, you cannot make the advantage of object. Also you cannot use hash code on this integer, as well as you cannot call equals method also, because it is an integer. Then again you have to write like this. Okay, so understood how this should be written. So always make sure that you are using that integer upper class. Otherwise the problem is, when you do a practice, when you go for any company, you will get stuck, because there will not be a string data. When there will not be a string data, you need to design a hash code, you need to design a custom hash code. How do you do that? You will get confused, right? Because if it is a string, yes, nicely you can write dot hash code, and a string is the object, so hash code will come. But the moment there is no string, you will get confused. But if you have a wrapper class, yes, on the price also, so let's say you have like this, no problem. In that case, even you can do that price dot hash code, and this will work fine, right? So with this I will close the video. My small suggestion is, please do a practice, please do lot of R&D if you really want to be good into the programming. Thank you guys, thank you for watching this.